Noise is one of the biggest things that comes up whenever we're talking about heat pumps. They're gonna be too noisy. It sounds like a jet engine. The neighbors are gonna complain. You know what? After living with a heat pump for over a year, I kinda get it now, but not in the way you might think. You might remember this video in which we showed you the process of putting a heat pump into my house, and we've been living with it for over a year. It's awesome, it's comfortable, it's reliable, it saved me money, but there was one thing that was niggling me. A few months after the installation, I started to notice a noise. Not outside, the fan was running very quietly, but inside, coming from the area in the kitchen near to where the heat pump had been mounted. And this noise was like a low hum. At first I ignored it. Then I started to get a bit obsessed. And once something goes into your brain, you know what it's like. You can't stop thinking about it. So despite the fact it wasn't really bugging anyone else in the house, I noticed it and I wanted to get to the bottom of it. What was this noise? Was it the heat pump? It was pretty quiet outside, so it didn't feel like it was that. Was it the pipe work? Was it the way it was mounted? Was it all of those things? Rather than guessing, we decided to bring in someone who really knew what they were talking about. Adam Fox, a vibration specialist who works on the transference of vibration and noise specifically from mechanical plant. Basically a vibration guy. And what he discovered wasn't what we were expecting at all.
We're here today, I guess, to use this home as a bit of a case study. One of the areas that we didn't do too much work on, and something that we think is becoming more and more interesting, is noise. You're an expert in this field. When a heat pump is pushed to its kind of higher end of operating capacity, we're never cold in the home. We had -5 degree temperatures, but we could hear the heat pump. And that's really what today is about. And what can we learn from your industry? How do we integrate that into the practices that we have across the country?
Yeah, sure. Well, when we talk about noise, it's obviously something that's very important to the installation of these things. Noise is sort of thought of as in terms of, okay, I can visibly see the heat pump and I can experience that via the noise of the compressor, the fan operating. The other side of it is how that noise manifests itself inside a property. That tends to be via a vibration. As you say, when a heat pump is working, the compressor is doing its job and it's spinning. All spinning items generate vibration because they're not perfectly balanced. And if that energy gets into the building structure, by the time you go in the level below or in here, you might hear that again because the walls of vibration sympathy, that energy gets passed to your ear. So really, the message is, do we break the connection between the unit and the structure of the building in a way to stop that happening? That's what we want to do today.
Very cool. Yeah. Well, should we take a look?
Yeah.
I will now turn on the hot water boost, which will go from where I've turned the heating off, so it go from 0 to the maximum compressor speed, fan speed, hopefully.
The Valent has done quite a lot of refinement on the carcass, lots of heat, but this is actually 2 layers of steel, and it's just acoustic with the hunt top.
We'll feel quite a lot here, but by the time it gets to the casing, it's a lot less. So you can definitely feel that, and you can, if you go on here, you can feel a reduction to this plate through these isolators, so it's reducing the power down.
Yeah, and feel the vibration of the unit as it's operating. And the main problem is that energy is getting into the building, which it is doing, because you can also put your hand to the knee, and these are not isolating that vibration at all. And the main problem is these. They should be decoupling this from this, so that energy isn't passed into the building and re-radiating as noise beneath. You've got to have suspension that's compliant enough to enable it to absorb the energy, and which ultimately means you've got to have something that's matched to the weight. So we'd have mounts to replace the bobbins down there.
Okay.
And they tend to be either rubber or spring, depending on how hard they need to work.
Yeah.
And just replace them with that.
How would you choose those ones? Do you need to do calculations? Like, what is the methodology that you would go from this point to choosing and selecting the right?
So there is a simple way. And that's provided in guidance published by Chartered Institute of Building Service Engineers and CIBSE, and they produce a table which basically says this is the running speed or the power of your compressor, and this is some information about your structure, which tends to be the span of the roof, and you've drawn the line together, it says this is the isolator you need. So it's quite a simple selection.
And is it effective if you follow that?
We've never had a problem, ever, as long as it's put in correctly. Yeah. Let's say we need 15 millimeters of compression on our isolators to isolate this. We'd want to put 15 here and 15 there, and then the place it's going through.
Based on the weight.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
exactly. It's all about the deriving frequencies.
Yeah.
So what's the rule of thumb for this 1906 single skin brick built London stock lime mortar?
I would probably guess you need between 10 and 20 millimeters compression on an isolator.
So you're
you
basically-
place the load on it, and that thing compresses about 10 to 20.
Right.
That solves 90% of cases.
I think I'm getting the picture now, which is why you, even over email prior to this, were so relaxed, because I think what you're saying is, it's that.
Yeah.
Just do that.
Yeah.
I'll see you in a bit. I had envisaged going into N levels of analysis and detail and ramping it up and looking at the compressor. And what you're saying is, well, if in your case studies 90% of the problem is solved by that, then the industry just needs to be using those things.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's honestly the summary. Analysis can certainly be done, because you can do a lot of vibration mapping of your building and different pipe sections and see which is radiating the most noise. But
the impact is
ultimately, it's
only
probably going to come back to
it's
Yeah.
going to say, oh, you need 10.5 instead of 11 mil of deflection. And it's
It's
like,
that
well,
sort of
making a
ballpark,
difference.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If we head inside now, you will see that noise outside is fine.
Yeah.
Inside is where it's actually louder because
Okay.
it's resonated.
Okay.
So if you hold this door, the steel runs across there.
Yeah.
The wall is sat on that steel.
I mean, audibly, you can hear it come from above. You know, if you were to force, it feels like it's coming from directly above.
Yeah. So it's that coupling, isn't it?
I think so. I think looking at the insulation on the roof, that the isolators that are currently in place are too stiff for the installation here. So if we replace that with something a bit more compliant, it will reduce the vibration power coming to your building. You've got a steel frame and you've got some nice sort of elements here that seem to be resonating. So if we put the isolators in to stop the energy getting into them in the first place, that would be my assessments about the way to solve the problem. Replacing the isolators you've got in probably around about £100. That's that sort of margin, I'd say. That is easily readily available and installed with a spanner. It shouldn't be too complicated.
So there we have it. The heat pump's running great. Comfortable, efficient, really quiet when you're outside, but the noise is coming from somewhere else. What's fascinating is that Adam is looking at this challenge not from the perspective of a heat pump engineer, but from the perspective of a noise and vibration engineer. And that changes pretty much the whole game, because what Adam is looking for is not whether the unit is noisy, but whether vibrations created by the compressor and the moving parts inside the machine are transmitting their way into the building and creating what we are perceiving as noise, originating as vibrations through that system. So the real question is, if Adam's right, and this is a vibration issue, can we isolate it? Can we stop this vibration from moving through the building? Or am I stuck with an annoying hum at those times when the heat pump is working its hardest?
So Mick's going to help us install, and Adam's just going to explain how this setup goes together.
So the key point with moving to this sort of isolator is there's more movement. You know, the springs have to compress down to have a acoustic, sort of benefit. So the idea between the system is that the unit is supported temporarily on chocks, normally like some timber chocks or something like that, and the springs are introduced. So we've got a base plate, which is bolted down to the unistrut channel in this case, and that's got a steel plate embedded within the rubber, and the spring sits on top of that, and this top cap. Now this top cap has got a bolt running through it and a cap screw, and the cap screw fixes it to your unit foot or something like that. But the idea behind this bolt system is that the overall height of this remains the same. So as you've got your unit temporarily supported on a chock, you introduce this, and as you adjust this bolt, it gradually pushes the spring down and gradually transfers weight to the spring. And you do that until your temporary supports become loose. And once it's leveled and the temporary supports aren't taking any load, just lock it off, done. That's it.
Easy.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, we're going to fit the new products, new springs in a minute, but as for a comparative test, we are going to just ramp up the heat pump now, set a high set point, cook Aadil in his house. The compressor will ramp up, we will feel the vibration, we can measure the vibration with a fancy app on Adam's phone, and then through the wall bracket here, where we think these aren't compressing enough to remove the vibrations. So we'll do a comparative test, fit the new products, and then repeat the test.
See what we get. So basically all this does, you'll see some peaks appear hopefully, because at the minute it's quite flat. But what we'll see is some peaks appear, which will give us an idea what frequencies are kicking up.
You can see gradually some peaks building up here around about 14 hertz. See the peaks gradually rising relative to the rest of the information. So the issue a lot with vibration is that a lot of it is sort of subaudible, the frequencies that you won't hear. Until it gets into something like a wall or a ceiling or something like that, then that energy gets converted at the frequency that that thing is vibrating at. So the energy gets into the system, it vibrates in audible frequencies, and you get that hum. Not bad.
In fact, not well. Yeah. So Win, talk to me. Put on noddies. You've done the back.
Never.
Okay, so that was very straightforward. Putting these springs on. Obviously now floating on springs.
Yeah.
We've balanced the length. We've set the heat pumps now level. You can see a very different setting on this side to this side, which is the heavy side. Springs are all still in compression. So just turn the heat pump back on, and then we'll see how it affects the vibration through the bracket and into the house. Oh,
Right?
I mean that's good.
It's completely different.
Completely different. And could you feel the wall vibrating?
Yeah.
Before? Yeah.
Well, I told you the kitchen cupboards are vibrating.
Yeah.
It's completely gone. You see, it's like dead silent in here now.
Yeah.
So then you can
I
hear.
hear that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was that combined with it was resonating. It was coming through the wall. It was the ceiling felt like it was making a noise, and when you opened this cupboard door, you could feel a vibration on the edge where it's extended. Do you remember holding
It's
it?
gone.
We're still in this world where the gas boiler was so noisy in the kitchen cupboard. Now that is insane.
That's the whole point. We want to reduce the vibration. You can't completely eliminate vibration, but if you reduce the power enough, you reduce the frequencies of concern enough so that you're not exciting bits of the structure, the cupboard pipes and things. Yeah, that cuts out a lot of noise radiation.
We put it in, even with it ramped right to the top now at an unrealistic range, the sound is completely different. It's like completely taken down. We can't hear any of the vibrations in the coming from the cupboards, coming from the ceiling, all of that kind of stuff. So this is like game-changing level of noise difference, and now the whole house is like even quieter. So now you can hear the heat pump a little bit when it's like fully ramped up, but like, I don't know, 1/10 of what the boiler was or something like that. Well done, Adam.
Okay, good. It's nice to come in and talk the theory and everything, isn't it? But there's no better proof than
That's it.
in the pudding, as they say.
Well, the beauty is this is a retrofit solution for, folks where there is a direct connection to the building, or this is a particular issue. Yeah, so I think this is a case of uplifting training, getting this into our system so that when we are choosing the heat pump and the construction type, the system automatically will say, well, look, it will need these kind of dampeners, and then selecting from the library of parts that are available and getting it in.
Yeah, I think one of the key points is that every building's different. This is the thing we try to get perceptions changed to, is that generic solutions cause problem because what works in building A doesn't work for building B. So we took a bit of a nuanced view of your property here. We understand the construction, and from that we got an isolated selection at work. So I'm really happy with it.
Amazing, good job.
So it turns out Adam was right, and the heat pump wasn't malfunctioning. It wasn't really noisy, but the vibrations from the normal operation had not been sufficiently isolated and were transmitting through the structure of the building, amplified by that giant steel beam, and turning into an annoying noise at the time when the heat pump was working its hardest. The noise was very, very specific and aligned to the characteristics of the property. That's why we don't see this in every single install. But for those installs where this is an issue, this beautiful, simple engineering solution is to isolate the noise, performing the correct calculations between the frequency of the vibrations created in the heat pump, the characteristics of the building, and the weight distribution of the system that you're installing. As soon as we install those vibration mounts, the noise was gone. And even at peak operation, right at the height of a hot water cycle or in the coldest period of time, we can barely hear the heat pump. And this is further helping one of the biggest challenges when we're talking about integrating heat pumps. Noise and now vibration can both be managed using engineering solutions and integrating a bespoke solution for each property owner adding a heat pump to their home. Our door is always open to anyone who can help us to improve the quality of the installations that we're conducting up and down the country.